Hey girl, you have officially made it to the other side, so welcome to the soft productivity world. And this is going to be an intro just walking you through what exactly is in this planner, because girl, I know you and you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to be like, Fee, I don't know where to start. So this is what this is. So we're just going to hop right in because girl, I know your time is precious. So how is this planner organized? There are 3 different sections to this planner that you could use according to just different needs that you have. First up is the 4 being productive, and then there is 4 being balanced, and then 4 staying on track. So 4 being productive is for when you have those big projects that you're trying to organize and figure out what is a priority because everything is on fire. It is the bundle that you want to use. How to prioritize your to-do list and how to break things down into digestible and doable steps. Next, we have the 4 being balanced, because one thing we don't know how to do is be balanced in time. The 4 being balanced bundle is more so targeted towards your self-care, making sure you're being intentional about how you're taking care of yourself. So now let's talk about the 4 staying on track bundle. This is more so for your like weekly and daily planning. I love using these to just plan out my month and then my week and then my days. So the first one we're going to start off with is the 4 being productive bundle, and I love this bundle for when I have like a lot of large projects going on and multiple things going on in life, and I just need help structuring and prioritizing and organizing it, because that's when you get like overwhelmed and you just don't want to do anything. And they have different systems that are organized based on time and energy, and it's really supposed to help you think outside of the box when it comes to your priority. Now, how do we organize it according to how much energy is required and how much time do you have and what deadlines are actually deadlines? And next up, we have the Focus and Flow Planner and then the Life Admin Planner. These are great for breaking things down into small steps, especially when you have large projects like moving, or even if it's a work project, just breaking things down into different phases so that it feels digestible and doable. Okay, so here are some ways that you could utilize this planner. Let's say you're planning a housewarming party and you are going through the different stages of planning. You can use each petal to represent each stage. So the first one could be planning, the second one could be like sourcing your materials for the party, and the third one could be the execution. Or let's say you have 3 smaller home projects that you're working on. Organizing your home office, that could be petal 1. You're working on updating your resume, that could be petal 2, and then you're planning a weekend trip, that could be petal 3. So feel free to use these in a multitude of ways. Now, as you're going through the different stages, of course, you color in the different petals to represent the completion. Like, these are all optional things that you could do. You could personalize this a little bit to your taste. So next, we're going to move on to organizing the list that you created from the brain dump into this chart here. And this chart's going to help you organize it based on priority, which is based on urgency and importance, as well as time allotted for the task. So maybe you have to get your hair done, that's a 7-hour task, or maybe you just need to go to the mailbox, that's a 10-minute task. So it gives you a little bit more visibility into the different energy levels that your task requires, so that you can then go ahead and organize your schedule accordingly, because girl, there's no way we're doing 4 high energy tasks that take 2 hours in one day. All right, so similar to the Do What Matters Most worksheet, this is about prioritizing. So this worksheet functions very similarly, but the categories are different. So you have the brain dump down in the corner right there, and you're gonna go through that same process like we just discussed. What you're gonna do differently this time is you're gonna be organizing based on impact and effort. Those are 2 things that I feel like when it comes to prioritizing, we really struggle with. A lot of the times we focus on low impact and high effort tasks, which literally does not get us closer to our goals or to completing our projects. So what you want to do is you want to do the brain dump, and then you want to then start to be strategic about how much impact is that going to have for you and what effort is this going to require of you to get that completed. So now that you're clear on the impact and effort concept, you want to look at the different categories, and they are pre-labeled. Okay, so now moving on to the Focus and Flow Planner. If you have projects that are large and overwhelming and it's going to require a million steps, this is the place that you are going to put that project, put the baby steps to the project. What I like to do is I like to use like a tool like Goblin AI or ChatGPT to break down a larger project for me, so that I can help to break it out into these little petals right here. Start off with an empty petal, and you fill in each of the petals with the different tasks that you want to accomplish. As you're going through the process of completing these tasks, this is going to be your visual tracker, because what will your brain do? Your brain will tell you, even though you got 90% of the tasks done, that you literally have not done anything. Here's a couple ways that you can use this planner. So let's say you're planning a housewarming party and you want to do all the things. You could have 3 different phases: your research phases, your planning stage, and then your execution phase, in order to help you get the whole entire thing together. Let's say you have 3 smaller projects. One being organizing your home office, the next being updating your resume and reaching out to people, and the last thing would be like planning a weekend trip. And to wrap this worksheet up, I just wanted to highlight the time flow, which is at the top. So as you're coloring in the different petals, feel free to assign different time increments 2 different colors just to make it a little fun. Obviously this one's optional, but I always like to put different options there for different people. Next is the Life Admin Planner, and you can use this in a variety of ways as well. So if you start off at the top left hand corner, you outline the task, and then you could break that simple task down into multiple steps. This could be one singular task, for example doing laundry, or it could be something a little bit more nuanced like running errands. So once you have decided what it is that you want to do there, you just add the time that you think you need, and then you move on to actually starting the task. Now at the very bottom you have the reward section, which is going to show you exactly what you're going to get for doing this, because we need some incentive and motivation. Okay, so as you're going through this process, you are going to be visually tracking when you are focusing versus when you are taking a break, because taking a break is equally as important as the task. So that is a visual way to track where you're at in the process and to help you to see how much progress you're actually making when your brain is telling you otherwise. So this is going to wrap up the 4 Being Productive bundle, and then we're going to move on to 4 Being Balanced. So see you in the next video. Now let's talk about being balanced, because you know that's something we are forever striving for. So we have a total of 3 worksheets in this bundle. It's really short, sweet, and simple, but it gets to the point. So right here is the AM PM planner, and I love this girl because guess what? When my routines are off, I know I need to sit down and plan and just be a little bit more strategic. So a lot of the times when we come to routines, we want to do all or nothing, and where has that gotten us? All of nowhere. So this worksheet is designed to basically match your energy and effort level. So down below we have the AM and PM sections, so you have the flexibility to plan for your night or your morning. So starting off on the very left hand side, we have the high effort corner. There is a lot to do in there, and this is where you're gonna place your most idealistic morning routine. And then you're gonna move over to the middle, your medium effort routine, and that is a little less intensive than your high effort routine. And then to the far right, we have the low effort routine, because girls, sometimes you just don't got it in you. You are just scaling back your high effort routines on a multitude of levels to meet you where you're at, depending on your energy, motivation, and mindset. When I'm in the process of establishing a new routine, I typically keep this on my nightstand so that I could use the reflection sections to see what worked and what didn't. And lastly, on this worksheet, we have the night routine, which is very similar to the AM. Basically, you pick 4 to 5 activities that you want to do based on high effort, medium effort, and low effort in order to meet you where you're at each night before you go to bed. So welcome to the self-care tracker. It's going to help you take care of your mind, spirit, and your body. If you're really struggling with self-care and you need to be a little bit more intentional, this is a great place to start. Using this as a tracker over the span of a week will give you at least like 3 to 4 different activities that you could do and be intentional about as you're navigating your week and things come up. So welcome to the weekly meal planner template. This is going to help give you a quick little outline of what your meals are, and it's going to help you to break down the ingredients that you need for the recipes in the green section. You need to know what you have so that you can stop spending that unnecessary coin on things you already have at home. I promise you, you'll save so much money. And the next section is just the purchase section. That's going to help you to make sure you have everything you need to get your week started. All right, so that is it for the 4 Being Balanced bundle. We are going to pivot now into the 4 Staying on Track. Now we are on to the 4 Staying on Track bundle. That has about 4 worksheets. This is going to be your daily checklist, and this is kind of like a fun take on the Life Admin Planner that we discussed earlier. This is for singular tasks, or you need to do some random amount of life admin tasks throughout your day. This is a wonderful tracker for you to be visually tracking how your checklist is going. You start off by obviously adding in the task and then putting in the time you assume the task is going to take. I definitely added the reminder section in there so that you can notate exactly what you need to do later if you just want to stay on task but you do not want to get distracted. All right, so now we are moving on to the daily tracker, which is a great visual to help you plan out your overall day and add in some self-care. This is founded on the idea of must-dos versus nice-to-dos. A lot of times we have a lot of nice-to-dos on our to-do list, and that's what's creating a lot of mental clutter. But by organizing this way, you see what your priorities are, and they're at the top, and then the other additional items, they're at the bottom. The first line, you're gonna fill in the item that you wanna do, and then the second line, you're gonna fill in a reward, because yes, we are rewarding ourselves for getting things done around here. But once you have all the things that you like to do for that day, you have the time blocking feature where you know the flow of your day and where you should be focusing your attention at what time. Some other cute little features that I really enjoy is the don't forget, because forgetting to eat and forgetting to hydrate is a very real problem. The next 2 boxes that are in yellow is for tomorrow's reminder, and then the important stuff that might be boring could go in the very, very bottom box. Now, this is the weekly tracker. This is great for a Sunday reset planning session because you get to basically outline everything that you need to do for the week. The boxes are really small in this section, and that is done intentionally. Think about these boxes as a space to put your priority items. These are your must-dos, but the focus is to keep it simple. If you see little petals on the side, you are able to color those in if that's something that brings you joy or is fun. It's there for you. Again, very optional. Now, in the center column, you have your highlight section. So this could be if you have an appointment or if you have something like a deadline coming up. Now, moving on to the other section. So at the very top, we have the meals of the week. So it breaks down the 3 meals for the day, and it gives you about 3 options so that you have a lot of diversity to select from. 2 great sections are sections that I really love because I'm forever forgetting the random things that come to mind, such as, like, let's say it's a bill or file my taxes or doing something like that. Whatever comes to mind in that area, that is what I would put in the first gray box. And the second gray box is people to respond to, because God knows we love leaving people on red. Now, moving on to the last worksheet from this bundle, we have the monthly tracker. This is great for a monthly reset. I really like using this because of the goals and the priorities section right below. I like to focus on my tangible goals, like let's say it's reading 4 books, or if it could be something that's a little bit more intangible, such as being more mindful. And then right below that yellow box, we have the progress tracker. So as you are going throughout the month for those more tangible goals, you're able to color it in and just give yourself that little dopamine boost. Now to the left, it's a traditional calendar. I invite you to just use this as a space to write down dates, deadlines, appointments. That is where you're just going to outline what you have coming up. All right, so we are coming to the end of this walkthrough for the Soft Productivity Planner. I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that you got a better understanding as to the benefits of the different worksheets, because I know that it could be a lot. But if you still have any questions, feel free to DM me at browngirl.adhd on Instagram, or send me an email at hello@browngirladhd.com, and we could definitely talk through any other questions you have. Anyways, I am going to talk to you guys later. See you on the interwebs. Bye.